Hello, probers.
Howdy.
Welcome to But It Was Aliens.
Howdy.
The extraterrestrial comedy podcast brought to you by two former MIBs. Greybeard donned a wig and a dress to flirt with the security guard at headquarters whilst I raided the file room and we made it off with the documents to bring you the truth.
Technically, that means we made it off together. Continue.
I was trying to come up with a smart-ass answer and I just
There
couldn't
is
think
none.
of one. I'm your host today, the king of the street grannies, the prince with the perfect peach, and the bestest of best friends, Granny Moonwalker. And sitting opposite me, as always, is the tallest being in the known and unknown universe. This beautiful specimen goes by many, many names. Sally, Greybeard, Kev, Grey Chin,
No.
Grey Balls,
Definitely not.
and many, many more. Probers, I give you Kev in the Grey, aka Kung Fu Kevy, baby! Yeah!
I like to slice the chicken teriyaki.
Kung Fu Kevy.
I don't reckon there's a single listener out there that knows where that's from. It's so niche.
Oh, that song was stuck in my head all morning.
Kung Fu Naki, baby.
Today,
I entered the club with some sake, baby.
Today, we're going to look at a case with a strong case of the Hayleys. The individual in question doesn't want their identity known, so they're known only as Kim. And I don't mean Kim Kardashian or Kim Jong-il.
Okay. This is going to sound borderline untrue, but I swear it's true. I couldn't really tell you what Kim Kardashian looks like. You've put a picture of a lady that I'm assuming is her in the notes. The Kardashians are a mystery to me. My partner watches the show sometimes and I don't even recognise them.
I literally only know who she is because of Kanye West.
I do recognise Kim Jong-il, however, and that's not an exaggeration. I am generally awful when it comes to people in pop culture / celebrities, unless they're wrestlers. Kung Fu Naki, baby!
So let's get started. And a shout out to Zebby. You see, Kim had a problem. Kim had a case of the Hayleys.
What's happening?
At a very young age, Kim could see dead people.
Oh, Hayley Joel Osment. Yep, and there is a picture of the dude from The Sixth Sense. Yeah. I've just completely gone back on what I said 2 minutes ago. I don't know any celebrities. I know the name of the chap in The Sixth Sense.
Case of the Hayleys.
Kim had a case of the Hayleys.
Kim would tell her mother about this phenomenon, but when she realised how much her mother struggled with this information, the more and more it went on. She decided to put her mother out of her misery and told her that the visitations of the dead had stopped.
Oh, crikey.
Were these encounters dangerous or horrifying? Well, not according to Kim. They were very uplifting. But as time went on, she would start to fear them, as they would indeed start turning dark.
When you said that she put her mum out of the misery, my mind went to a really bad place there. I thought she was like going to nail her and double tap her and stuff. Like she was ill and she was gonna, do you know what I mean? Euthanized, bloody hell.
Put her out. Old yellow. Go out the back.
Oh my gosh.
Double barrel shotgun to the base.
Yeah. She had a real case of the Hayleys. Gonna finish her.
Though these encounters were starting to take a turn, Kim still didn't tell anyone, not wanting to put more pressure or fear upon her mother. The visits or encounters didn't last for a few days or weeks, but they would continue into adulthood. I mentioned earlier that initially these seemed to be spiritual for Kim. So naturally, as Kim grew up, she would find spiritual healing and comfort in crystals and their energies.
Naturally. Goes without saying.
During one session with a client, something incredible happened.
Right. My mind has gone to a place.
A dark, dark place.
Around 1992, 1993, I reckon. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. The sages in the crystals. You had to go and get all the crystals to unleash the sages to lock Ganon away. Not ringing a bell?
No.
Okay, I'll continue.
If you would have said Ocarina of Time, I'd have known exactly what you were talking about.
Were people in crystals in Ocarina of Time? I don't remember that.
I don't think they were in crystals.
No.
Once you got the stones or the
concept of people in crystals. Do you think that if you can... Well, in fact, do you think you can capture someone's essence or being or very soul in a crystal?
I believe you can capture someone's essence in a crystal.
Okay, so... I'm going to ignore where your mind has gone.
Where did my mind go?
I know exactly where your mind went, and I could demonstrate it in a gesture.
Please don't.
I can act it out, charade style. Drop my pants to my ankles. If you're in a crystal, I don't even know why I'm asking this. But
a maze or a crystal? A crystal or a crystal maze?
A crystal, just a crystal. If your essence is in a crystal, is it aware that it's in the crystal?
Define essence.
I'd rather not. Soul, I guess.
Wouldn't that dictate that you would have to be aware of your surroundings once your soul is out of it?
Yeah, this is kind of what
body.
I'm getting at. This, like I say, it's a really unusual line of thought. But when you're in the crystals, are you frozen in the crystal or are you still
aware.
conscious? Yeah, I guess is a better way of elaborating on what I'm trying to say. And can you communicate outside of the crystal, or does the crystal light just flash as you're communicating?
Can you sleep? Can you think?
Are you squashed? Because obviously your essence would have been presumably bigger than most crystals.
Depends how big the
So
crystal
do you
is.
feel all compact and cramped?
Depends what form your essence is. Does it take a...
It's your case, you tell me.
cloud-based form? Therefore can be condensed and...
No, definitely not cloud-based. I reckon liquid-based.
Then there shouldn't be any feelings of compression then. Fine.
What if it's a lot of liquid and it's a little crystal?
More liquid than the crystal can handle.
So my line of thought here is that crystal shops, if there are essences in every single crystal...
So you're wondering if there's essence in crystals. When you go into a crystal shop and you buy a crystal, are you buying someone's...
Basically, yeah. And are they aware and can they mess with you, or are they frozen and a little bit safer unless you drop it and the crystal smashes?
I will answer this question when my essence is taken from me and placed in a crystal.
Right, that's your birthday episode sorted. I've actually been kind to you for your birthday episode this year. I'm giving you the opportunity to display that you are the bestest of best friends.
That sounds very sinister. And sexual at the same time.
Well, I'm going to give you the choice that I never had.
You had the choice. You made your decision.
As will you.
I'm not getting on my knees.
What if I offered you a Porsche if you get on your knee? Slightly sidetracked. Crystals.
Crystals.
Something incredible happened. Did the crystals communicate? And that comes back to my line of thought around the essence in the crystal. That's where I was trying to get to.
So we've done a full 360.
Yeah.
No. During this session, Kim's eyes would be drawn to something moving in the room. This wasn't a bird or a plane. Heck, it wasn't even Superman. It was a dark figure slowly appearing.
Is that Man Bear Pig in the research notes?
It's Christopher Reeves.
Oh gosh.
It was
South Park, yeah. I don't know why when you said it wasn't a bird or a plane, I was expecting a man, bear, pig. And then I saw South Park. Where were we?
It was a dark figure slowly appearing out of the wall.
Dementor! Yes!
The figure would make its way slowly towards Kim's client and hovered above them. Kim's client had no clue what was going on. They couldn't see, hear, smell, or spidey sense this figure. Kim continued the session as best she could, but kept an eye on the shadowy figure. The figure stayed there for a few minutes before leaving and going back through the wall in which it came.
Well, that's not particularly dark. Admittedly, the figure was dark, but the experience, there was nothing untoward, nothing bad happened, so to speak.
So to speak.
Remind me what Kim did again, sorry? She was with a client?
I think like a spiritual healer.
Yeah, medium kind of thing.
Crystals and...
Yeah, sorry, that was it. I'm on my 4th coffee today and my mind is a little bit all over the place.
Yum.
And I'm going to have a Lucozade when we finish.
We're so old. I remember when we started, it was beers and whiskies and rums.
Oh, it would be rum. I'm just out of Coke.
Liquid, I hope. Not to say that I hope you've got powder form. That sounded so wrong.
Is that not how you drink your rum?
Don't drink rum.
With a sprinkle of powder. Actually snort the rum.
This wouldn't be the only time that Kim would see these figures, as there were times when she would wake up to find them standing around her bed watching her.
Could she see their hands?
I don't know.
Okay. That's a little bit freakier. No one wants to be woken up by something looking at them, and not even anything happening. The sense of being looked at wakes you up. That ain't a good way to wake up.
Can you imagine, like, you just wake up, it's sort of just there, like, eyes wide. I don't know what would be scarier, the fact that it would just be a shadowy figure with no face, or if there was eyes just on you. Definitely eyes.
Yeah.
Although this was creepy as fuck and unsettling, Kim didn't really think that they were there to harm her in any way. And later in life, when Kim's husband would unfortunately pass, Kim started to think more and more about these encounters and would wonder if potentially more had happened that she was unaware of.
Uh-oh.
So she did what any allegedly truthfully sensible person would do in this situation and underwent hypnotic regression therapy.
Oh, shit. I just hope she isn't going to do it to herself.
HRT.
I had to spell that out to make sure it wasn't another you fans, whoever it was. Why would loads of... I'm trying to keep away from a creepy, disgusting place when I ask this, and I'm
would
not
loads
sure.
of dark figures be around her bed watching her as she slept?
Yes. Yeah. Keep it light and fluffy, please. Granted, they had no trousers on.
To start a pillow war? Just wakes up, bam, pillow.
Absolutely nails the crap out of a sensor across the room. Welcome to Wake, bitch.
Tag, you're it. Lo and behold, we were correct. It was a pillow war.
The end. She lost said war.
To this day, she still lays awake, waiting for them to return, so she can clobber them with a pillow herself.
With a pillow cannon.
And not be it.
Windmilling.
Let's get back on track. So many tangents.
Wish I had a pillow.
So these therapy sessions would unearth more than even she thought possible.
Say it ain't so.
Once regressed, some of these moments became clear as day and were remembered as if it was yesterday. The first was when Kim was but a child, at 6 years old. Kim was standing in a field, dressed in a blue dress and brown shoes. In front of her was a shed, and on either side of her was a humanoid figure. The figures were long, thin, and their heads were elongated. They were also naked.
That's completely unnecessary. I'm getting Huggins starter vibes here. 5, 6 years old, in the garden, being visited.
Oh, yeah.
Why have they got to be naked? This is a child.
Kim couldn't describe them much more than that, but couldn't distinguish if they were brown, yellow, or gold. The creatures had a strange light about them, like they were illuminated from the inside.
From their naked holes.
Things would start to get fuzzy and not make sense. Eerily similar to a dream. A dog was suddenly running in front of her, and then it wasn't a dog. One moment, this dog, not a dog, was far away, and then it was right next to her, and then it would be far away again. More and more truths would become unlocked. Kim would state that these beings had been with her for a long time. Not since her birth, but since her origin, alluding to a life before this life perhaps, or many lives before this life.
She was Joan of Arc.
She would then go on to state that these beings were light beings. Not only was this a revelation in itself, but Kim would go on to mention how these beings would stay with her during future lives too, in many different forms, and there was an abundance of these beings watching over her.
How does she know they were with her during her future lives if she's not in the future yet? That seems a bit presumptuous.
I'm assuming that during these regressions, she had a conversation with them in the past and was alerted to the fact that they would be with her in the future.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Like, this isn't the end. We will be with you for many, many years, lives, whatever.
Yeah, I could say that to you. It doesn't make it true.
So you were lying to me.
I promise. I would never die.
Question I have with that is, if that's the case, they've been with her since her origin, and they will continue to be with her through future lives. Why? What's the outcome?
Maybe she is special and they are there to protect her. Why am I suddenly defending her? Are they cat people? We've got a dog, not dog, running around.
Yeah, we do. But we don't have any feline traits.
The source is anonymous.
The source is Kim.
Yeah, but
Anonymous.
Kim Anonymous. This sounds vaguely familiar to another story we've covered in the past.
Maybe.
Is she trying a new way to get her identity and her story out there?
Possible.
Can this person predict what is in a suitcase?
Not that I'm aware of.
If folks haven't listened to our Stephanie Cohen episode, they're going to be very confused right now. But this is familiar.
I think that is still my favourite episode of all time.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that one.
During
I bet Philip's really glad we didn't find out what was in that case now.
Put his life on the line. During these recordings, there were things going on that Kim and the doctor, I hope it was the doctor, doing the recordings were unaware of.
Oh shit, we don't know if it was a doctor.
Strange sounds in the background. Voices just faint enough that you knew someone was talking, but not loud enough to hear what was being said. Kim was given copies of the tapes to take home, and the more she listened, the more she heard. Not necessarily words, but sounds. A strange clicking sound could be heard, and it was so loud that during the therapy, Kim even asked the hypnotherapist if they were clicking a pen. The more she listened, the more she heard.
Jiminy Cricket pervert!
Even hearing heavy breathing. This proved to Kim that there was something else in that room with them, and that whatever it was trying to communicate with her. All over her face.
It's clicking like a predator.
Kim would go down the rabbit hole with these tapes, and when she came back out, she was convinced that these abductions that she was experiencing were to prepare her for her awakening. An awakening that would prepare her to spread spirituality and higher consciousness here on planet Earth. She made her mind up and believes that her role is to plant her seed in people.
Bit creepy.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. Her role is to seed plant in people's minds and help them achieve more and become enlightened. This isn't the first time we've heard of something similar from those that claim to have been abducted.
Yeah, so we have... well, I suppose cat people could click.
If they're
from another planet, they could have different
they might have opposable
vocal boxes.
thumbs.
Oh, literally click, yeah. I was thinking like a vocal click.
Could have been doing that too. I was just thinking cat claws and how could click.
I suppose the obvious place to go in your mind, as we said, is insectoids. That sort of alien entity, sorry.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Jiminy Cricket pervert.
Yeah, this has got similarities, although not the finer detail, to the other two cases we mentioned, David Huggins and Stephanie Cohen. We seem to have dark entities and clicky things, human-esque figures, so different types of species all gathering around this person who's going through the ages, presumably reincarnated. Definitely some perverted crickets in the room there, but not much seems to have happened so far.
Woke up looking for the broccoli. Sorry, you said reincarnated, and the lyrics from Kendrick Lamar's song just went through my head.
Clearly. So, yeah, she's kind of had visions and seen people there, but not much has actually happened. Mm-hmm. She's not set up a church, a cult or religion and started preaching her word. She's saying that she's going to. She hasn't banged anything that we know of.
The issue that we have is she's going by the anonymous name of Kim. Mm-hmm. Therefore, if she does set up anything, we don't know who or what it is because they don't have their name attached to it.
So I've got a problem with this one. If you're going to set up a thing, whatever that may be, to plant those seeds, why wouldn't you put your story out to support that?
Use your name.
Because presumably when you do that, you're going to put the story out and explain that's why you're doing what you're doing. So to let this story out anonymous doesn't really stack up with that in my mind.
It's almost like, this is my calling, but I'm going to do it anonymously.
And then never mention it again.
Then, you don't know if they've ever done it again, or if they are, let's say, for example, working from the shadows, are they trying to keep their name anonymous so that the alphabet boys and some dark entities or whatever don't get hold of them? I really don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just trying to figure out why you would be anonymous, but then make the claim that you're going to spread...
Bit of a plot hole.
This message, because anyone spreading the message now could essentially be this person.
Mm-hmm. This could be you.
I've spoken of dark, shadowy figures in the past.
You've been joined by them. Taxi ghosts, specifically.
Yeah. So to summarise...
What? That's it?
That's it.
So nothing does happen that way.
So to summarise, we have the story of Kim, who as a child could see and hear dead people. It was a serious case of the Hayleys. When she told her mother, it freaked her out the more and more it happened. Visibly seeing the distress this caused, Kim knocked it on the head and told her mother that it had stopped when it clearly hadn't. This would go on for many, many years, but wasn't sinister until it was. And when it was during a spiritual session with a client when a dark, shadowy figure would appear from out of a wall and hover above her client. Freaked out, but noticing that her client was oblivious, Kim continued. It wouldn't be the last time Kim would see these dark, shadowy figures, as there would be times she would awaken from her sleep to find them around her bed watching. When Kim's husband would pass away, the notion of these beings and more happening that she was unaware of would prompt Kim to get HRT. And during these sessions, both Kim and us learned more. From an apparent abduction/dream as a child, and the revelations of light beings being with her since her origin, and that will continue to be with her in her later lives. Kim received a copy of the tapes, and the more and more she listened, the more and more she discovered going on in the background. which wasn't noticeable in the slightest during the original sessions, from beings being heard, clicking sounds, and heavy breathing. Kim took this as a sign that something or someone was trying to contact her, and that these light beings were trying to prepare her to spread awareness of spirituality and a higher consciousness here on Earth. So, Greybeard, I ask you, is this an alien abduction or a spiritual awakening?
Do I have to pick one?
Oh, bullshit!
I'm going a letter. I am not saying that this was aliens. The problem when you stay anonymous, I get why in some instances people do, but with a story like this, it takes away the credibility. It prevents any evidence from being brought to the table.
Yeah,
there's no finer detail here. Where did it happen? Did anyone see it? Do you have tapes of the regressions? I get if you don't want to share those, etc. Obviously, we've covered before the issues with hypnotic regression in placing seeds in people's minds that weren't there. She clearly already had the suspicion before going to regression, so she's perhaps created that in her unconscious. There's not really any evidence that feels credible within this one.
You don't get a sense of who this person is from others either, with it being anonymous.
Yeah, she's like an experiencer light. She's not quite put the effort. Well, that could be a male Kim, I guess, or whoever they are. They've not put in the work that other experiences we've covered have.
Like, I get that you don't want to be scrutinised, but at the same time, good work needs to be scrutinised to recognise that it's good work.
Absolutely.
So
journal articles are critiqued by other researchers and whatnot, and it brings the academia forward, allows things to be found out and whatnot. There's just, no scrutiny in this one. Where's the painting of someone with an alien titty in their mouth?
You'll find that's under your desk.
Still trying to find a frame for that.
So yeah, it's not aliens for me. I could say it's a possible spiritual awakening.
But you won't.
But I won't, because they've come out as anonymous. If it's a spiritual awakening, I don't understand why you would need to be anonymous to say that you had a spiritual awakening and this is now what you believe going forward. Whereas I believe you would do that more with something that you perceive to be extraterrestrial and you don't want that critique.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I can't say this is aliens.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And thank you for joining us for this week's probe. You can find us everywhere at But It Was Aliens. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, now known as X.
Oh, it's been a while.
And on Facebook, we have a secret group known as Extraterrestrial Towers, where you can find memes and shit. And we might protect you from the aliens when they come.
We might
not going to guarantee it, but we might.
It's a possibility. I mean, it's a small possibility, but it is a possibility.
It's 99% possible that we may not do it.
I mean,
but we might.
That is a possibility.
Depends what aliens turn up.
If they're not from this world, chances are we might not, but there's a possibility.
But if you go over to Patreon.com/ But It Was Aliens.
Don't you dare steal my bit.
That possibility can grow. You see, because over here you can gain access to Side Probes, the paranormal spin-off of But It Was Aliens. And all that for less than a small coffee. There you will find dicks, pegs, ghosts, skulls, demon dogs, pirates, and much, much more. Like I said, the likelihood of us saving you when the aliens arrive go up by 1%.
That may also not, but it could. We may actually push you in front of the aliens and run away. I mean, we probably won't, but we also probably will. But we might not.
If we do, we're going to push you a little less than we would push those that aren't patrons.
But still enough that you'll get got before us. I mean, that might not happen. We might protect you.
Maybe. As always, I have been the bestest of best friends, and he's been the tall one. Remember, the troop is up there. Hashtag Bukemi, baby! Yeah! Chicken teriyaki!